In this video I have these puzzles and they have a fault. Notice that all the knobs are broken off. I'm going to demonstrate how to sort out this problem by replacing the knobs and getting this puzzle back in working order. Now the first step is to determine what size knob needs to be placed into the puzzle piece. So I have a sample piece here, and by measuring the inside of the hole I can see it's about 8 millimeters. If you don't have a veneer, you can just use a tape measure or a ruler to measure the width of the hole. If there's still a knob on any of the pieces, you can also measure it using a ruler. And I can see it's about 8 millimeters. Now to fix the knobs, I'm going to use something called dowel sticks. Dowel sticks are wooden sticks that have a uniform width along the length. For example, this one is 6 millimeters, I have an 8 millimeter, and then I have a bigger one here which is 10 millimeter. So what we want to do is we want to match the dowel stick to the width of the hole of the puzzle piece. So this is a 6 millimeter, it's too small. Now since we already measured the hole and we saw that it was 8 millimeter, this is an 8 millimeter dowel stick, and I can feel that it's pretty stiff, but it seems like it will get in there. So the 8 millimeter will work for this project. You might have to clean inside the hole here, which I'll demonstrate shortly. Now if you only have one or two pieces that have the knob missing, you can also use just an old paintbrush, and notice how it's not quite the right size, but once I put glue in here, it will solve the problem. So this is a 7 millimeter stick, and there one can see that it is a bit too small, but for one or two little knobs it will work. However, if you've got lots of puzzles to fix, go out and buy the dowel sticks of the size that you've measured for the little puzzle pieces. So before starting this, I'm just checking the puzzle piece holes here. Now this one is nice and clean, it is open, and I can see that I will be able to get the stick in there. While this one over here, it's still got the old glue that was used for the old knob. So the first step is to actually clean out these puzzle pieces. So there I'm showing the old glue, and why this is important, it's going to stop the stick from getting in there nicely, and it might not make a good bond. So I want to try and clean out some of these old pieces. Just be careful when you are doing this. So I'm just taking my screwdriver and I'm just removing the old glue. This is in the way here. I would not be able to get the stick inside here, because if I take the stick, it gets stuck quite soon, and that will just fall out, even if I do have glue there. So what I need to do is just open this up a little bit so that the new stick can get in quite deeply. Now you can also take a wider screwdriver and just turn it in like this, almost like I'm drilling it, but just be careful, we don't want it to come through the other side. So I'm just opening up the hole here, and there we can see some of the old glue is coming out nicely. And of course, if you've got the tools, we can use a drill bit. In this case, it will be an 8 millimeter drill bit, and I very slowly just drill out the old residue. There it comes. So now when I just do a quick test, yes, the 8 millimeter will fit perfectly. For best results, go around and clean each one of these holes. However, if you don't have the time to clean out each hole, but you can see that it would fit in anyway, it's fine because the glue will still hold. So maybe just clean out ones where you can see that it's definitely going to get blocked when you put the new knob in. Right, once you've prepared all the holes and they're all ready for the new dowel sticks that we're going to insert in, I'm now going to demonstrate how to prepare the dowel sticks. All right, so the first step is to see if there are still knobs on the original puzzle. If there are, we want to match the length. If there aren't, then it doesn't matter. We just need to make sure that we use a length that is reasonable for a pincer grip. So I'm going to match the length because one of the puzzle pieces already has a knob coming out. So I'm going to quickly just measure the length. All right, it's just over 10 millimeters, 1 centimeter. So I'm going to aim for the same specification. So I'm just taking a sample here and I'm going to press it in. Now you might need a little bit of force here. So I'm just going to tap it a little bit. And I've pressed it in firmly, and I'm just going to mark it, and I can see that it doesn't go in much. It's only a few millimeters. Right, I'm just going to test it in a few other pieces to make sure that it is the right length. Press it in here firmly. I'm just going to give it a bit of a tap, and I can see it's quite similar. And I do this for 3 other pieces just to make sure. And for the most part, it's pretty close to that line. So now I'm going to work out how long to make the knob. All right, so it seems about 4 millimeters goes into the puzzle piece, and then I need an additional 10 millimeters for the knob part. So each one of these needs to be 14 millimeters. That gives me 10 millimeters for the knob part and 4 millimeters, which goes inside the puzzle piece. Now I've located an 8 millimeter dowel stick, and I'm going to measure 14 millimeters from the end. Right, so I'm measuring 14 millimeters, which is just over there. But because of cutting it, I'm going to make it 15 millimeters, which gives me space for cutting. All right, so I've marked it off at 15, then I'm going to mark it off at 30, 45, 60, and so forth. That extra millimeter is just giving me a little bit of thickness for where I cut it. Right, I've marked off where I'm going to cut. To cut this, the best way is to use a coping saw. Now I understand most people don't have such a saw. Even a small hacksaw would work. Ideally with wood, we like bigger teeth and the spaces to be bigger. But actually with this small little dowel stick, this blade is actually very useful. Now for safest working conditions, it's always best to mount the wood while you are cutting it. But I know that most people don't have such tools, so I'm going to demonstrate in hand. I'm going to take the small saw and I'm just going to cut on the line. And because it's only a thin piece of wood, It cuts through quite nicely. Even though I'm not pushing very hard, it's actually cutting through very nicely. I'm doing long strokes and I'm not pushing very firmly. And towards the end, I just rotate it and just cut the end off as I don't want it to tear the wood. There is the cut. I can just file down the rough edges when I'm done. Notice it did not deform the wood. Now, for those who don't have a little saw, if you've got something that cuts cables, while not ideal, it also works. And I just squeeze it. It will deform the wood a little bit. And I put my hand here because this tends to shoot off. Using my cable cutters, it did deform the wood a little bit, but it will still work. Maybe you've got a garden pruning tool. Following the same method, I just align the blade. It will deform the wood slightly, and I just cut. I put my hand here so that the wood doesn't shoot into my eye. This did work, but it did deform the wood just a little bit. And the reason is because the blade isn't very sharp. Now, some people don't have any of those, and I guess you could use your kitchen knives, but obviously this is at your own risk. I put the knife on the line, and I'm going to take my hand over it, and I'm just rolling it over this board. And it will need quite a bit of force. And there I'm just showing how the knife is getting through the wood, but obviously this will blunt your knives as well. Right, the kitchen knife actually worked very well, but it is dangerous and it's not recommended. Of course, if you only need to cut 1 or 2, then it's fine. But if you have to cut 30 pieces, please use the saw. And you can also use a longer hacksaw. Actually works very well. The fastest method is actually the cable cutters, but it does deform the wood slightly. Right, the knobs are ready. Of course, if you want to do a precise job, use the saw, but I just use the cable cutters. You will need some sandpaper and or a file. We're also going to use some wood glue now. Okay, starting one by one, I can see there are some rough edges here. So I'm just taking the file, I'm just smoothing it out, and I only really need to do that on the one side. A faster method to just clean up the ends is to take a piece of sandpaper on the table, anything between an 80 and a 200 grit, and I just file these one by one. All I'm doing is I'm filing on the edges, and then I'm going like that. You want it to be smooth like that. So using a good quality wood glue, try to find one that's got a small opening, and I just put a drop. Okay, just a pro tip. Yes, you can put a dot in here, but unfortunately what often happens is there's spillage. So sometimes it's actually easier to just take a tool and just put the glue in manually. And it doesn't need to be a lot, it's just a little bit. So I'm going around and I'm just putting glue in all of the knob holes. And then I'm just turning it in here as much as I can. And I'm turning it, and notice there's the glue. That's what we want. Notice how the glue, and it was only a little bit, is now forming on the sides. Now we leave this for 24 hours. I repeat this with all the other knobs. If no glue is coming out the side, it means you've put too little. If too much glue is coming out the side, it means you're putting too much. Make sure that once you insert it in the piece that it is straight. Notice this one is skew. I'm just going to straighten it. Right, it is now straight. If you have too much glue, just wipe it away going around the sides. It will be transparent once it's dry. If you've got a bit of extra time, you can also put glue on the knob. Aim for a result that looks like that. Notice the glue surrounding the knob. If you took the glue out and by mistake you smeared it on the puzzle, don't worry. Wood glue can be cleaned very easily with a damp cloth. So I've got water on this cloth and I just wipe it away. Notice it wipes away very nicely. If you use the cutting method, you might notice that the wood is slightly deformed and it's more difficult to get in the hole. Both a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing because it makes a tighter fit. A bad thing, it's a little bit more difficult to get in. Sometimes you might need to even file it a little bit. You might even need some pliers just to squash it a little bit in the other direction. And if you're doing a lot of these puzzles, it's best to do it on a very firm surface. In this case, I'm just putting a puzzle on the tile floor and I'm using a hammer and I'm tapping them in one by one, and I'm even using the hammer to align it gently. It has a certain sound, and when it gets to the end of travel, the tone of the sound changes. And you might have one or two that just need some extra service. Right, now I just check that all these knobs are straight. I can see 1 or 2 are not straight. I just tap it in place. I just go around checking if there's any spillage, and now I leave it to dry for 24 hours. All right, so the puzzles have been drying for 24 hours. You can see a little bit of the residue of the glue there, and it is transparent now. And these puzzles are now ready to be used again. The knobs are very strong, and even if I just show you, even if I try and knock it, it's not moving. This is very strong. All right, thanks for watching, and cheers.